In this video, we will go over how to get section views in our spatial products. This allows you to view sections of surfaces when working in 3D and move through these sections bit by bit. A view depth can be set that allows you to view only a certain distance into the surface at a time. A profile can then be gotten at various points along the surface. First, you will orient your surface to the desired position to get the section views. Next, click on the mouse location element at the bottom of the spatial pane to bring up the Set View Center dialog. Tick on Pick from Scene, then choose the view center in the scene. Before I choose the view center, I'm going to put one of my snap tools on so I know that I'm snapping to an exact position when choosing my view center. Snap tools are at the bottom over here, and I will use Object Snap. As the cursor becomes a star symbol, as you can see, that will mean that you're snapping to an exact point. I've now chosen my view center, and you can see the surface is sliced into a bit as I chose the view center somewhere in the middle of the surface. Next, we will go to Scene Properties by the gear icon over here, and then go to the Perspective tab. This is where we can set the view depth, which is exactly how deep into the surface you want to be able to see at any one time. I'll put this as 25 meters. Then say OK. And now I'll only see up to 25 meters at a time into my surface in my scene. Next, we will come back to the Set View Center dialog, and we will then specify a shift amount to move through as we move through our surface. And this I'll put as 25 meters. Then, as I click the plus and minus buttons over here, I will move into and out of my scene by the certain shift amount that I specified. And you can see as I move through, I will see these 25 meter slices of my surface. If I hold down the plus or minus buttons, I can animate through the surface. Now, another way to move into and out of your scene is to use the Shift button, which you will hold down, and then you can mouse wheel in and out, and that'll have the same effect as the Set View Center dialog buttons, plus and minus, and it will move in and out by the shift amount that you specified. So I'll hold down Shift, mouse wheel in, mouse wheel out. I will just rotate the surface a little bit so you can see a better picture of what's happening. And I will shift mouse wheel in, shift mouse wheel out. And we can see those 25 meter slices of the surface as we move through. Now what we can also do is get a profile of the surface that we can see nicely in the scene. And to do this, we're going to set a border around the surface of a different color from the background so that we can actually see an outline of the surface and get a profile. So to do that, we will go to the layer properties of this surface here. I'll just close the Set View Center dialog for now. Right click, go to Properties. In the Styling tab, we will set the border thickness to be a bit more and make it white in color so it stands out. Then say OK. Now we can see that border has been added on our surface. Then we can come and change the display of the scene to show wireframe. And then as I shift and mouse wheel in, I will see the profile of the surface at each point along these 25 meter slices. You can also put a grid on in the scene by clicking over here. The properties of this grid can be set in the Scene Properties over here by the Coordinate Grid tab. And you can choose the width and height, specify various properties of the X and Y axes, as well as the labels on those axes, etc. If the coordinate grid does not show up when you click it over here, it could be that it needs to be set to the current orientation of your scene, and you would click Set to Current View for it to show up. You can also put on another view over here to actually see the full surface as well as the border as you move through. And now it clearly defines each section of the surface with the border as I move through it. And that's all for this demonstration. Thank you very much.